Hi guys, Knife Detector here, and oh my gosh, did you see that awesome logo that Gary made me from The Last Ranger? Oh man, Gary is just an awesome guy. If you have not subscribed to his channel, you got to do it. He's just one of the nicest guys you're just ever gonna meet, guys. Anyway, that is an awesome logo. So shout out to Gary, The Last Ranger. Gary, I really like that logo. Thank you so much. You really embodied everything I was trying to do, but with my lack of experience, I just couldn't get it out, and it's like you went into my brain, you crawled in, you came out through my ear, and you got exactly what it was you wanted to get out of there, and then you sent me an email with that awesome logo. So thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate that. So we're going to talk about two knives today. That's how this video is going to go. And I'm going to show you first this guy right here. Now, this guy right here is an A.W. Wadsworth, okay? But after that, we're going to talk about this guy right here. But we're not going to talk about it in detail. All I'm going to do is mention the video and kind of give you a tidbit of some of the things I'm going to talk about when I do a video on this one. And you'll recognize that one. Tobias did a video on this one recently. So let's start with this one. This is an A.W. Wadsworth, guys. And the stamping on the tang is really faded here. But it's A.W. Wadsworth and Sons, Germany, I believe it says. And this is an old knife. Where did I find this knife, you might ask? Well, I found this knife at that antique store in Green, Texas. I've been telling you about that antique store. I showed you another couple of knives I found there, including the Old Timer 96 OT and that case 6159. Now, this bad boy right here set me back all of $5. That's right. I paid $5 for this knife. I believe this knife to be from the 1930s or so. That's my best guess. I couldn't find too much on A.W. Wadsworth, except that they made knives from about 1905 to 1936, and they made knives out of Germany and Austria and possibly Czechoslovakia. I'm not sure, but this is a cute little knife, and I tell you what, it's very functional and very solid. Okay, now there are some interesting things about this knife I want you to notice. First off, it has an all-metal construction. Now, I can't tell for sure, but it's got kind of like a reddish hue here, which leads me to believe it might have had some red paint, or maybe red plastic, possibly. Maybe red paint or something covering this section here. I'll bet you Tobias knows. But to me, it looks like it might have had some red paint covering this area right here. This must have been a real pretty knife when it was new, guys. Now, over here, really faded. You can kind of make out the words if you turn it around. Oh, by the way, check this out. Isn't that good snap for a knife that's from the 1930s, about almost 100 years old? As you can see, it's an easy open. It's got a thumbnail, but it's also an easy open. Look at that. Snap open, half stop. Look at that half stop. Boom. Boom. Just like that. This is in decent shape. Now, when I got it, it was rustier than it is now. It did not open as easily. You know, it had some crud in it, but you guys know how I clean knives. See there? There's a little bit more red paint in there too. Or maybe it used to be orange or brown and it just turned red over the years. I don't know, but I think it might have been red. So we have steel liners on this one, as you can see. It's got this clamshell kind of handle design right here. Yeah. If you've ever watched Dirt and Rust, that channel, Dirt and Rust, he does some awesome knife refurbishings. Knives that have these clamshell type designs. He actually takes them apart and disassembles them and reassembles them. He even makes the plastic covers for them, guys. It's really darn cool. Okay, that's Dirt and Rust, if you ever want to look them up. And check this out. It's just a real pretty knife. Paid $5 for this at that antique store. Man, that antique store was just overflowing with knives. Overflowing with knives. And I think it's because of COVID. I don't think they had opened in a long time. And when they finally did, boy, did they have knives. So yeah, I wanted to also mention, before I go any further with this one, is that I've been making, the past 7-8 videos have been on vintage knives, like older knives, right? And this probably being the oldest of that group. But I do have some more older knives to do videos on, but I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back to my older style of just being an eclectic mix, because sometimes I have older knives, but I want to make a video on a more modern knife. So I have some modern knives that I want to make some videos on, like some Rough Riders, marbles, like you're going to see this one, an A.G. Russell, some more modern old timers. I want to go ahead and do some more modern knife videos, and so I'm going to skip around a lot. So you're going to see just like I've always done in my channel. You might get a video on a very old knife or a more modern knife. It's just like a box of chocolates, guys. You never know what you're gonna get, right? Now let's take a closer look at this bad boy, right? And this is just a solid knife. I've already carried it to work a few times, and check it out. It's got a bail. I believe this is the original bail on this knife, and it's still there. You know, I've seen knives like this before, this style, these easy open, but the bail is always missing. That's what I dig about this knife, that it still has the bail. And it's an easy open, so boom, boom, just like that. Boom, boom. Now this sucker is sharp, carbon steel. Very, very sharp, guys. It came up to really razor really quick. Now it has a secondary blade, but I believe the secondary blade has been modified probably like 50 years ago. You can take it out like this if you want, but I think it was modified to the point where they broke the tip off, because I've seen other knives like this, and this lower blade extended about this far, and then it had a nail nick right about here. But there's no nail nick, because I believe that it was broken off, and then somebody did a really nice job re-tipping it. Look at that. See how it comes to that narrow point? Somebody did a pretty nice job of re-tipping it. And you see how the patina matches all throughout? That tells me that this was done a very long time ago. Yeah. So that patina, you know, goes all the way through. See? That tells me it was done a very long time ago, guys. So somebody had the skill to grind this out and make it look like it came with the knife. Now, this is still pretty sharp as well. No snap on the little guy. But it's very useful, you know, for opening letters and such, and for using it as a utility blade. Very useful. So let's put this boy down. I really like this knife, by the way. Let's put this one down. Let's talk about this one. Now, Tobias Gibson did a video on this, and this is the Marbles Scout King. Now, this is a pretty big knife, okay? Oh, by the way, I forgot to weigh it. I always forget to weigh these things, you know? I really forget. I gotta really work to remember to weigh these things and to measure it. Let's switch back over here, and let me show you the length of this knife right here before I go any further. The length of this knife without the bail is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. 3 5/8. It's about 3 5/8 long, closed, is what it is. Okay. How much does this weigh? I don't think it weighs too much at all. I'm going to hazard to guess it weighs about 3 ounces. Let's see. 2.3 ounces. So this bad boy weighs 2.3 ounces. Not bad. Okay, let's close this guy. Let's come over here. Now, we're not going to do a total review on this one yet. I just want to talk about what I am going to talk about when I do the review. Now, Tobias, really, one of his pet peeves on this one was the can opener. And I believe that if I close it, you'll see why. Check that out. See how far up that can opener sticks out? It almost makes you feel like this is not a knife that also has a can opener. Kind of makes you feel like this is a can opener that also has a knife. You know, it makes you feel like this is the primary tool of this knife right here. And this is a girthy hook. Look at that. How's that for a bill, hawk bill type? Look at that. So that makes me wonder, you know, what if, you know, I did a slight modification on this? Because it hits right here. See? That's where it hits. That's where it hits the bottom of the spring. What if we cleaned that up a little bit? Took a little bit off. See? And then what if we took this off? Because if I did that, it's going to hit the point. We're going to have to clean this up. It would probably sit lower, wouldn't it? I don't know. Let me know if that's a modification you'd be interested in seeing. But the thing I hate the most about this knife, now I don't hate this knife. I kind of like it. I like that it's hefty. I like that it's big. And I'm already doing a review on the darn thing. But I'm going to go back and talk about it later. The thing I dislike the most about it, yeah, I dislike that, the can opener, but this bail, oh my God, this bail is just the most rickety thing in the friggin' planet. Look at this thing. This thing is just like, oh my Lord. I don't think that it goes all the way through. I really don't. I think that it's just held together with a tiny little pin that stops right there at that liner and probably stops right there at that liner. Because this thing is just like, I wouldn't want to hang this thing on my backpack or anywhere for that matter. It might fall off. You know, I mean, it's just the most rinky-dinkiest little thing. It's big, sure. And look at that. Those tiny little pins holding it in place. Look at how, that's a bigger one. And then this one's super tiny. I bet you if I took a flathead and just stuck it in there and went, it would just pop right out. But then I'd be left with those little pins and I'd have to grind them out. Look at that. It's just, I'm sorry. This is my biggest pet peeve, Tobias. Yeah, this is pretty bad, but this is worse. Now, I'm not going to do a full review, but there's so many things I like about this knife, but not those two things, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. So that's just to kind of tease you a little bit with what I'm going to do in the future with this knife. I'm going to go ahead and do a video on that one next time. So this video will possibly be Friday, and you're watching this one Monday. Okay, guys, so this has been another episode of The Knife Detector. And I have all kinds of videos in my channel. Older knives, newer knives, although I do focus mostly on traditional. I want to thank all my new subscribers, guys. Guys, I have a giveaway coming up at 1,500 subscribers. And on this giveaway, I'm thinking of numbering a select group of knives. And then the winner gets to pick the knife they want because they're going to choose the corresponding number to that knife. I think that might work better, letting the winner choose the knife they're going to get. Now, you do have to be 18 years or older, and you do have to leave a comment in the video that I mentioned, not this one, but a future video. I will tell you which one it is. And you do have to be a subscriber to my channel, you know. So, guys, thank you so much for subscribing to my channels. Check out Gary over at The Last Ranger. Check out his channel. He's got an awesome wall of other awesome knife channels that you may want to look at. And this is just an awesome knife community that I'm very happy to be a part of. Thank you, guys. You all take care. God bless you, my friends. And let's try and stay as sharp as our knives, guys. I'll see you.